Welcome back. All right, that's what we're focusing on next, the plight of Nigerian businesses in Ghana. We've got Dele Momodu. He joins us from Accra. Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. Well, actually, many just wondering what is really going on, because some of these issues have been raised in several fora differently, and it's still playing itself out. So could you tell us, have things improved? What is the current situation now about those Nigerian businesses that are being subjected to what some think is an unthinkable requirement from the Ghanaian authorities?
Yes, good morning. I'm actually in Lagos this morning.
Oh, nice.
Just to correct that. Yes, so, but that's
Okay.
fine. Yes, it's very unfortunate, and this is not the first time it is happening. Remember that just under 2 months ago, part of Nigeria High Commission's buildings were demolished. Someone came there in the middle of the night, brought a bulldozer, and before you could say Jack Robinson, the buildings were being pulled down. They called the police, nobody responded, only for them to say sorry later. They offered apologies. I don't know what has happened. I heard they said they were going to rebuild. And then this came again. This issue of traders is very unfortunate, because I remember when we first arrived to do business in Ghana, and we're not talking about trading, we're talking about at our level. It was, we were required to pay 50,000 US dollars. So you transfer the money into an account in Ghana, and then it will be converted into cedis, and then you can start your business. But traders usually were much lower. Then some Ghanaian traders started complaining. I think they felt threatened by the aggressiveness of our marketing strategies as Nigerians, and they moved and said they must pay 300,000 US dollars before they can trade. If anyone had $300,000, you won't leave your country to go to Ghana, And then we protested. We tried to make the authorities see reason, but the problem is they will come down after some time, then they come back again, and it's always been a ding-dong affair. I suspect that any year there is election, this thing gets hotter. It seems like in the US, where people have to play to their base, they believe that they can use it to tell people that we love you more than others, we don't want foreigners. But when they say they don't want foreigners, usually it is Nigerians. There was a video I saw again last night in Kumasi, where our traders, all their shops have been locked down in Kumasi, and they are insisting they must go. And I saw people with GIPC, the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. They gave these people valid documents. As of last year, a lot of them were given their resident permits. They renewed it. This year, they have deliberately refused to, so that they can declare them illegal and persona non grata. So, to cut the long story short, I think the time has come that our government must intervene positively on the side of our traders, because these are people who went to Ghana not to commit any criminality or anything, but just for them to do business. There are many Nigerians and Ghanaians living in Europe, in America, in Canada. They don't even have papers. If the police in those countries decide to beat up, our citizens, we will shout Black Lives Matter. But here we are in ECOWAS, and this is being done to us. And my argument all the time, and my suggestion is that, look, if ECOWAS is not working, Nigeria should stop investing in stupidity, because it is unfortunate. They are giving all kinds of spurious excuses. Oh, Nigeria closed its borders. What has that got to do with doing business in any country? I remember some years back, Ghanaians were complaining that President Obasanjo banned some Ghanaian goods. And I had to go on television and radio in Ghana. That it is not true. President Obasanjo banned some goods, contraband goods, and these goods were not manufactured in Ghana. Most of them, what happened was that people will go to China, go to India, and wherever, and bring those goods through our neighboring countries before they bring them to Nigeria. They are contraband. Nobody ever said Ghanaians should not do business in Nigeria. Nobody ever said Nigerians should not employ. I have staff, Ghanaian staff, both in Ghana and in Nigeria. Nobody has ever disturbed them in Nigeria. Nobody. I repeat, there was a year when Governor Dele was governor of Ogun State. Some Ghanaian family, they had a factory in Agbara, Ogun State, about to be demolished. They were erected on an illegal site. So they got my number, they called me frantically that, hey, all their investments will go up in smoke if the governor does not intervene. I called the governor, I said, these are Ghanaians, they are investors. We are the ones always shouting that we need investors. Please. And immediately, Governor Dele intervened and said, because they are foreigners, they will find a way to help them, and they did not demolish. In Ghana, I saw people pleading with the police, begging them, showing them papers. These are our papers. We are genuine. They said no, they must pay $1 million US before they can be allowed to trade in Ghana. Please, somebody who is selling scrapper.
Now, it appears as though, look, this has been happening for a while, and it appears calculated. What do you think is the underlying reason why this is going on?
No, I believe that this one, we have 3 months to general elections. So every time there is a general election, these things, come back. But it is because we have not nailed it finally. We must nail this coffin and bury this dead body. It is unfair. It is unfortunate for Nigerians to suffer anywhere in Africa, not to now talk of West Africa, where we are the leading giants, right, where we sponsor most things. There is no African country that says Nigeria has not been a good brother.
But the challenge now,
anybody can give. Nigeria has tried for every, and I know, if I don't know of any other country I know but Ghana, that Nigeria has been very good to Ghana.
The debate or the argument a lot of people put forward is this is in the law, and you reference that GIPC Act. So they say it's in the law, it's what the law says, and one wonders, so how can that be escalated? Because it's a law, they always refer to the law.
It's a very, very skillful and indirect way of saying go back home. There are laws and there are laws, but some laws don't make any sense. That's why I gave the example. There are laws in America, there are laws in Europe that says nobody must come to work in our country unless you have papers. If they decide to enforce those laws without the milk of human kindness, we will not have any of our children, any of our brothers and sisters living in those countries again. Not to now talk of. So, how do you make a separate law that goes against the letters and spirit of ECOWAS? It is deliberate. They don't know how to tell these people go back to your country. So I told you, I said, even we who are supposed to be big business people, we were asked to invest $50,000. So how does $50,000 become $1 million within years? And then you target traders. And I can tell you for free, okay? I'm an authority of Ghana. Anyone who knows me knows that I love the country. I'm a Pan-Africanist. I'm a fanatical disciple of Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah will be crying in his grave to know that Africans are treating their own brothers and sisters in this manner. Let them tell these people to go home. And I was happy when I saw a video last night in which the leader of the traders in Kumasi said our government should please come to their rescue If they don't want us, please come and help us to evacuate us. You know, it gets to a stage in life where if you cannot go forward, at least you can move forward. If you don't know where you are going, at least you know where you are coming from. I tell people all the time, if a country does not want me, I cannot force myself on the country. This is so disheartening. I mean, you will not believe what these guys are going through right now. These are people who are just doing something to make a decent living. They are not living illegally. I am telling you that there were papers. As of last year, these people had their resident permits. And yet this year they refuse to renew it for them. So what do you want them to do? So, and they have an association.
Okay, in terms of getting a solution.
One of them was waiving his papers. They said, get lost, get lost. They did not bother to look at it. He still has a valid birthday. They shut down the place.
In terms of getting a solution, we reached out and we do have His Excellency Musili Obanikoro, former Nigeria's High Commissioner to Ghana, former Minister of Defense. He joins us from Abuja. Good morning and thank you for joining us. Well, many have made huge reference to while you were the High Commissioner that certain things wouldn't even happen. Now that you've seen this happening today, what's going through your mind?
Well, thank you for having me here. It's a very sad development, to be honest with you. When you look at things like this, we take one step forward and we take several backward, which doesn't help anybody. More so in an environment where most of our economic activities are still within the pedestrian level. When I say pedestrian level, I'm talking about a situation where our informal sector is bigger in terms of the numbers of our people involved than the formal sector of our economy. But having said this, you see, the problem around this is the fact that we do things in a manner that we cannot sustain. What do I mean by this? When I was ambassador, when I was the High Commissioner in Ghana, I can recall vividly that we were able, to a large extent, resolve this matter. And how did we do that? Engagement, serious engagement at all levels. I can recall I made a trip to Kumasi to sit with Ashanti Hini, which is the foremost traditional ruler in Ghana. And I solicited for his support, that there is need to engage our Ghanaian brothers and sisters to let them understand that an average Nigerian who can afford $300,000 will not migrate to Ghana. He was very sympathetic and he made efforts to mitigate some of these issues. And we tamed it. Before I left, we were also able to promote Ghana-Nigeria Business Summit, which was started before I came in. But I invested a lot in it because I saw it as a platform to deepen our engagement with Ghanaians. To the extent that before I left Ghana, we were able to extend it to Togo and Republic of Benin. And this was a program spearheaded by now Oba, then Otumba, Oba of Erimon, Michael Ajayi. And immediately I left Ghana, the whole thing was disbanded. This would have helped because the Ghana Investment Promotion Council did participate strongly in this, and it was a yearly thing. You see, prevention, they say, is better than cure. It is not when you see an ailment coming up, it's better to deal with it squarely once and for all, rather than wait for the full presence of the ailment before you now start applying medication. The effort it will take to resolve it will be more than if you nib it in the bud, immediately it is noticed. So, and furthermore, before
if
we
you don't
left,
mind.
we also put in place Ghana, Nigeria, Ghana, a bilateral commission between Nigeria and Ghana. And I can recall that that platform will have resolved most of these issues. Because let's face it, the Nigerian can-do spirit cannot be merged by any part of this continent.
Your Excellency, just if I can just ask you a question
spirit
on this same issue that you have just raised now. Well, it would seem like there is some plan. Of course, maybe you want to react to what Chief Dele Momodu said the other time about an indirect way of telling Nigerians to go back home from Ghana, because it is certain that the Ghanaian government is aware that there is such a thing as the ECOWAS protocol, which says any West African can go to any country and do business there, live there, and all of that. It is after that, years after that, even decades after that, that the Ghana came up with the GIPC Act, which says that certain businesses are only reserved for their own citizens, Ghanaians. Of course, there's nothing wrong with that. But what do you see? You said we need to resolve the issues. What are the issues, knowing that the Ghanaian government is going headlong against the ECOWAS protocol? What, in your own opinion, are the real issues that are not being dealt with?
There are formal and informal issues. Let's be clear about this. One of the informal aspects of it, I just said, our can-do spirit has given us an advantage that most African countries cannot match. That is the truth. And the need for the locals to protect themselves is one of the reasons why you have what you have here today. Yes, given ECOWAS protocol, where were we when the law was enacted in 2007? It went before a parliament. When a bill goes into a parliament, there are processes. There will be public hearing. Where were we? Then they moved it from 300,000 to 1 million last year. Where were we? We have ECOWAS parliament. We have strong members of Nigerian parliament who are members of ECOWAS parliament. Where were we? You see, the law is the law. And let me use America as an example. You have NAFTA between America, US, Canada, and Mexico. When Donald Trump came on board, he didn't feel comfortable with some of the agreements in the contract that governs the relationship. And he revisited it, and those things were amended to suit American interest. That is why it is very germane for Nigeria, as close as we are to Ghana, to have a bilateral agreements that the two of us will sign to and live with. And let me also say this. When you have crises like this, you don't depend on government alone to resolve it. There are Nigerians living who are as powerful, if not more powerful, than even our government within the Ghanaian space. Let me give you a good example. As small as Rodman in America, a footballer, a basketball player is, America deployed him to North Korea for American interest. There is nothing stopping Nigeria from deploying those great Nigerians. Let me say this. I'm not saying this because he's seated there with you in Lagos.
Now,
Bashorun, Dele Momodu, whether you like it or not, is a well-connected Nigerian within the Ghanaian space. And there are others who are even bigger and more powerful than him that we can deploy. If you deploy those men and women and get them to have a constructive engagement, not when election is coming. There's nothing that we can achieve between now and election time. Because Ghanaian election is always close. The difference is always so thin that for someone to now budge on an issue that is as fundamental to the grassroots is almost impossible.
Your Excellency, so, let's bring in Basharu immediately so that he will respond to what you just suggested. So please, how do you respond to that? Deploying you and several other Nigerians, wouldn't that be a good idea?
It won't work. What I want to tell Senator Obanikoro is that the Ghana he left behind is not the Ghana that we have today. And that is the truth. You know, as a diplomat, there are things he cannot say. But as a businessman, you can't like my money and you hate my face. So I will say it as it is, that the Ghana he left behind, and he knows that even when he was there, I had a restaurant. That restaurant was frustrated back and forth. I moved the restaurant from Osu, which is the heart of Accra, to the airport residential. I traveled, so I was making up the place. I traveled, then they called me that a minister who was living across, Senator Obanikoro is aware of this case, said over his dead body that my restaurant would not happen. I had every document, fire, brigade, whatever, every document. You will not believe it. He brought in thugs and they pulled down, my signposts and everything. The day we were going to open the place, Senator Obanikoro had to bring his official car, diplomatic car, to position it in front of the place before we could open that restaurant. I'm telling you that it is much worse now. It's about the temper and temperament of whoever is in power. I'm happy you cited the example of Trump. There are people in Africa who want to copy that style. And I am saying there is no point wasting time. Simply tell these guys to go back home. What is happening is that the hatred now is much, much deeper than there is nobody. If they are harassing Glo with all the money, all the investments of Glo in Ghana, people are harassing the Nigerian companies there. The banks are bleeding. They can't talk. So that is the problem. There are issues that I know a diplomat will not be able, and there is nobody today, I can guarantee you, who can talk. In fact, I saw the way the foreign minister was firing salvos to our own minister in Nigeria last week on Twitter. She went ballistic on Twitter. She opened a new Twitter account and was firing our minister in Abuja. And let me say it, our ambassador who has just been brought back home, Abikoye, did fantastically well. He's been going around, going to Kumasi, going to everywhere. The same procedure, the processes that Senator Obanikoro, laid out just now. Nothing happened. They demolished our building. What happened? Is that a case of bilateral? So what are you going to talk to him? Somebody who comes in the middle of the night to pull down, an official residence of a government, a foreign
All right,
government?
Chief. We'll go to break, but when we come back, we'll let His Excellency respond to some of what you suggested. Please join us again. Welcome back, Your Excellency, Senator Obanikoro. From what both of you have said and what Basharu just said, it does appear as though the buck stops at the president's table. Abuja has got to rise and do something. It's at that level that they think that is where solution can come from now. Is that the case?
You see, no doubt that there is need for a strong push from the presidency. But before that is done, you see, Basharu said something that I don't want us to gloss over. And when I suggested that there is need to have some eminent personalities to also wade in, there are other competing issues in this society today. that the presidency is very busy with. Yes, Ghana is very important to us, but you will agree with me that they cannot devote all the time in the world to resolve this matter. And it goes beyond what I can also speak to on television. He alluded to the demolition of our mission. The information at my disposal, if I mention it on television, the relationship between Nigeria and Ghana will collapse today. And I'm saying it with all sense of responsibility and with all seriousness. Because I spoke with people at the highest level of government in Ghana, and the response from them was scary and mind-boggling. But going to the issue at hand, you see, your power abroad is derived at home. If you say those Nigerians should come back home, what are they coming to? A number of them, they've been in Ghana for 30, 35 years, 40 years, some of them, some 20 years. And they have invested a lot in that system. But because of the pedestrian nature of Ghanaian traders, they see the presence of Nigerians as an existential threat to them. Now, how do we go about resolving this? One, I do believe strongly that if the government of Nigeria, all this I'm saying can only happen after December 7 election. The two major political parties in Ghana will not sit down constructively with anybody to agree to anything between now and the election time. Because President Akufo-Addo, giving in to the demands of Nigerians, will put him at a disadvantage for the NDC to win, and vice versa. So, whatever plans we have must be immediately put in place towards post-December 7th election. And we must get Ghana to expunge our name, which is Nigeria, from the list of countries that must comply with either the 300,000 or the $1 million capital that is expected to be paid to Ghana Investment Promotion Council before you can operate within Ghana. That, to me, we missed an opportunity when Ghana was in dire need and Nigeria assisted immensely to get them out of the economic mess. That would have been the time for us to
just
get
one moment,
them
Your
to
Excellency. There's something that you said I think many people would not want to gloss over or for us to paper over. Well, on the one hand, you said that the government of Nigeria is busy with some more pressing issues, and perhaps a number of people will agree. But then some will also argue that when it was time for the president, when Nigeria needed to show some strong positioning in Mali, the president personally went to Mali to address that issue. So far, we see what has come out of that one.
These same issues that are more. Just one moment. I didn't say more. No, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
No, I didn't say more. I said competing challenges. I didn't say more. I said competing challenges.
Okay.
And you will agree with me. There are so many competing challenges.
Well, again, I could agree with you on that one, but some would also say that this is also very, very important because it involves Nigerians outside, outside the country. The same thing happened in South Africa. Not much has happened. So if there are diplomatic issues that have not been addressed, isn't it about time we really faced it and deal with it once and for all?
I am now also putting it to you that timing is also very key. When you address, if you also recall, the one in South Africa also came when South African election was coming. And they escalated it. And now you don't get to hear of it again. They will wait for another 5 years when the election is almost around the corner. Then it is escalated again.
Okay.
Some by the political class to show that the government is working to resolve the issues of an average person within
okay, Your Excellency, pardon me to jump in at this time.
It's the same thing that is playing up again.
Okay, let me now bring in Basharu just before we go. Talking about solutions.
Effort to
pardon me, my apologies on that. Let me bring in Basharu to give us his thought, because in order to prevent Nigerians from taking laws into their hands, because we saw a similar scenario against some South African business concerns in Nigeria, what should we be doing now?
Our president should put a call through to President Nana Akufo-Addo. That is not difficult. Nigerian traders cannot wait until after elections. They are suffering. Last week in Accra alone, and it's not true anyway that these are Nigerians who have been there for 30, 40 years. They are traders, and most of them, I don't want to sound funny, they come from a part of Nigeria that deals mainly in trading. They are traders. Most of them are young. They are hungry. They have family. I personally am not government. Last week, I assembled 133 names. We were able to verify 111 names, and we had to offer them palliatives. The government must be seen not to have abandoned their people in Ghana. 3 months, unless we want these guys to die. In fact, one of them last year, if you investigate, committed suicide. Yes, because of a similar situation. So it's not just about election. The thing is that there is this so much anger that Nigerians come there and they are able to sell at cheaper rates compared to their Ghanaian competitors. The only person who can help these guys now is our dear beloved president, and he must act. Let him reach out to them. If our foreign minister needs to fly into Ghana, please, urgently, let him go there. Appeal to the government to please have mercy on these people. If they are not going to have mercy on them, then we must find a way to at least temporarily evacuate them. Because trust me...
All right, gentlemen. All right, Chief Basharu, Dele Momodu, and His Excellency. Well, I'm afraid we're out of time. Okay, just briefly, please.
That is in the immediate. What he's saying is in the immediate. But what I am talking about is to have a lasting solution to this problem. You see, it's easier to say, let us evacuate. But after evacuation, what happens? You see, there are some Nigerians who have made up their mind to live in Ghana. We are not going to abandon those ones too. We must find a lasting solution to it and ensure that it does not repeat itself, more so when elections are coming.
All right, Senator, we appreciate your thoughts this morning. His Excellency Musini Obanikoro, former Nigeria's High Commissioner to Ghana and former Minister of Defense. Gentlemen, thank you for your perspectives this morning. Well, this is a matter that we expect.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so hopefully we'll stay on this matter. Nigerian media too, perhaps you need to weigh in as well on this one. We're back in a moment. Stay with us.